I am toasting 2 cups of pumpkin seeds. You can hear it pop. I'm going to be adding this to the pesto that I'm making, oregano pesto. We will add a nutty flavor to the pesto. Makes it more creamy and delicious. So the pumpkin seeds are now lightly toasted. And now I turned off the fire and just let this continue to finish cooking until they'll be evenly toasted. I am now going to add the half a cup of, or maybe a third of a cup, slivered almonds. Toast that until it's very lightly toasted. You don't want to burn this. My kettle is boiling. I'm going to be making oregano tea from some leaves that I have dried. It is very good for congestion or simply digestion also, mental clarity. The smell of oregano, it is very, very healthy for you. I will be making oregano tea while I'm waiting for my almond to continue toasting. So this is the oregano leaves that I had growing in my garden, and I picked a few, dried it up, and now I can actually add it to a boiling cup of water. And this is about a teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. You let it steep. And meanwhile, I finished toasting my slivered almonds, and I'm letting cool the toasted pumpkin seeds. And the ingredients that will be added to the oregano, fresh oregano leaves for the pesto, would be 2 cups of olive oil. I love garlic, so I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8. If you have large one, you can use 5. And then I grounded up some pink Himalayan sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt, and some ground pepper. So that will be added to taste. And on this very new, I'm making this up on my own, pesto oregano from my garden. Now I'm going to show you. I harvested some herbs this morning, and this is from my garden. Now you understand why I have to make something out of this. This is pesto oregano, and I'm growing some, and this is tarragon from my garden, and I'm rooting some. So yeah, I do have a bunch of spices growing in my yard, and I don't know if you could see that big raised garden there full of oregano. So I don't want to waste anything, so I decided I am just going to go ahead and make pesto out of that. And wish me luck. I hope that this is going to be a successful experiment. Again, that's my ingredients. 2 cups of toasted pumpkin seeds, about a third of a cup of toasted slivered almonds, 2 cups of olive oil, about 5 or 6 of those or 7 of those garlic cloves, and salt and pepper. Now, if you toasted your nuts, you want to make sure that it's cooled off before you started mixing them all together. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm letting this cool because it's quite hot. This is ready to go, but this is not. My next step now is to chop up all the ingredients and mix them together. Now you can use the old-fashioned way of just chopping things up, or you could use your food processor. So whichever way you choose, I'm sure it's going to turn out good. So, all right, so just because I wanted to see if I can do it, I decided I was gonna go ahead and chop this all up by hand. So I chopped up the garlic, chopped up the toasted almonds. Now in the process of chopping up the pumpkin seeds, and this is how it looks like. It's a little bit, it's not totally, some are still whole, as you can see, but I think I'm gonna like that because it does add texture to the pesto. I believe something crunchy, something a little bit solid. We'll just have to check it out and wait and see how this turns out. So we'll be back as soon as I finish chopping up this toasted pumpkin seeds. So here's the challenge. It's very hard to measure these big leaves into cups. So I have a big bowl of it. And we're going to try to chop this all up, mince it, and gauge how much of this we can use with the ingredients that I have here. To say the least, it's going to be exciting for me to figure out what is the best recipe. So here we go. All right, so far so good. That whole bowl of, by the way, this is Cuban oregano. I love Cuban oregano. It grows really, really fast and very healthy. And there's really not any pest that can bother it. And it likes the heat. So here it is, the whole bowl that I had. I've chopped up most of it, and this is the chopped up leaves. A few more to go. Then I will measure as far as how many cups that is. So it'll have to be chopped up fresh Cuban oregano leaves. That's how I'm going to remember it, because it's really hard to measure by cups whole leaves, right? So here we go. So it's actually fun to chop up these leaves. The Cuban oregano leaves, they're very pulpy, yet soft, but firm. Strange description, but that's what it is. The Cuban oregano is like that. I don't know about the other oreganos. It's probably the same. All right, so I think this is good. I like that it's a little bit, has substance. It's not like mushy. Right. Now I'm going to measure. Right, as it turned out, the whole bowl full of whole oregano leaves turned out to be 3 cups. This is 2 cups, and then what I would say is another cup. So that's 3 cups of chopped up fresh oregano leaves. So now I may need more olive oil. At any rate, here we go. And I'll just add as I go. Here's five or six cloves of garlic. And half, or actually a third of a cup of toasted almond, minced or chopped up. Now, the pumpkin seeds, there are 2 cups in here. 2 cups before I chopped it up, but after chopping it up, it turned up to be more. So what I'm going to do is, I think, put half of it into the mixture. One more. And then we'll see what happens. Right, so the whole point of this exercise was to not waste my oregano and to make something worthwhile by hand. And so that's why I decided to do this without any food processor. So 2 cups olive oil. Now, I can already see that it's quite dry. I can think I know I will add probably another 2 cups of this, because it is very, to me, for my taste, is dry. But I can smell that wonderful, wonderful oregano and the toasted almond and the toasted pumpkin and the garlic, really, and the olive oil. So a couple more cups of olive oil, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll add 1 cup at a time. So I added 2 cups, but it was still dry. So I added another cup, and now it's much better. This is the consistency that I was looking for. Now here's the thing. I really like nuts. So I'm very tempted to add the rest of that into this mixture. But before I do that, I think I should go ahead and season it with some salt and pepper. And then we shall see if the taste, and I'm going to do a taste test and see how this is, this new recipe, made up recipe. I watched YouTube, and as usual, I get some ideas from people's posts, but then I like to kind of create my own. So that's why, that's what this is. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to taste it. A little bit like so. Let's see. Oh, I really like the nuts in there. Oh, that tastes mild, actually. Delicious. A little bit more salt. Wow. Oh, love the nuts in there. Now, this can be easily made into a marinade, put on top of crackers and breads, and put on pastas or veggies or whatever, or just eaten by itself. And very healthy, good for your health. good for your digestion, respiration, circulation. Oregano, the miracle herb, it really is very good. I'm so glad that I decided to create a pesto out of that because there's so much in the yard. And I can freeze this and use it later on. Wow. And it's fresh. It's not cooked. Beautiful. Well, I hope that you learned something from this, that you would go out there and plant and create a garden and make your own healthy pesto. Oregano. Very healthy herb. Thanks for watching. Fade away.